Diarmuid, how's things? How are you?
Yeah, good man. All good.
Good stuff. Great to have you on the call. Thanks for being on time as well. Appreciate it. Diarmuid,
All good. All good.
we're jumping on the call today. Tell me, what are you looking to get out of the call?
Yeah, so I kind of manage people in the company. So the company's called Insulated Chimneys. We basically make chimneys really. We wholesale to a lot of like it could be Dublin, it could be anywhere in Ireland. Are actually our big customers right now are based in Sweden. So yeah, so that's kind of what we do in a summary. But basically, just the way our order process goes, I feel like it's very slow and outdated. Like the way we do it now, it could be a phone call, and then if there's not a, if there's not a, if you don't get it answered or whatever, it could slow the whole process up. We've lost out on big orders in this, you know what I mean? So basically, if we could get like a system that could, automate a lot of this, because I feel like it could be, and I feel like it would save a lot of time and money in the future. If that makes any sense. I know it's an awkward one.
No, no, totally. Look, I get what you mean. You probably want it to process a bit faster. Business runs business. Look, I
hmm
suppose I intend to understand the business. The chimneys in Ireland, funny, I've never heard of it. Can you explain to me how you sort of got into it? Do you own the business, or how did it sort of come about?
I don't own the business per se. I suppose my official role is called like a floor manager and stuff. It's so obviously the boys on the floor actually make the chimneys. So how it works is it's made of different types of steel. It could be a point 0.5 steel, which is kind of a lighter frame, point 0.7, which is, a bit of a thicker frame. But so yeah, the boys inside will make the orders, whatever. T50, T30, whatever, and it gets put outside or brought outside basically where the boys outside actually insulate it, do the insulating
Yes,
of
yes.
the bit. And yeah, basically once the insulation is done, the thing is probably good to go. But even we're finding we actually lack space for storage. We've a lot of, and I feel like this is we actually do actually have a lot of space, but I feel like we're lacking space because the orders aren't getting, out quick enough because, of our slow, outdated systems. Like, feel like we have the manpower to like get them out a bit quicker. But, boys are always wondering, yeah, is this for today? Is this for tomorrow? I feel like if we had just a bit more of a effective process of doing this, boys could kind of have a little look. Don't even have to be that tech savvy, but have a look like, right, this is for day. Let's get that out now, take that off, clear the space, have room for the next, set of chimneys or whatever order it is.
Okay, totally understand. That's it's a business that I had never sort of even thought that was in Ireland. So
hmm
good to learn about it. And as you're saying, yous are tight for space. Yous are tight for yeah. It's good that you have the manpower. You're tight for space. So give me a typical day of why it's outdated, or how the outdating of your system affects the workflow. Just a typical standard day.
Yeah, I'll give you even a problem we're having recently. So like in fairness, the boys inside are quite good with their work. They're efficient enough. Like we do regular time checks or timestamps of how quick and in fairness, like they're quite good, you know what I mean? But it's more of a case of our again, as I was saying, the current process now is a lot like phone calls and stuff. So we might get an order in, like 4:45 or whatever. Where boys are going home at 5. Bang! Here's a big order slapped on them. Whereas, like, it could have been a quiet day, so they could have been starting that 2 or 3 hours early, have it done, no stress. But the order comes in, and the order might have actually been from the morning, but it's only getting through because contact has only been made later on in the day. So I feel like looking at your systems, they can actually put in the order straight away, and we can see it like instantly. Like a notification on the phone or on the laptop or whatever, and we could get started quicker. So yeah, that's sort of problems we're having. Yeah, usually a typical day, I suppose we look at what order now. Usually, like for the jobs in Sweden, they'd be kind of big jobs, so we kind of know well in advance for that. So like a month or two in advance, and we kind of tell the employees or whatever what exactly to make, how much we expect made a day and stuff. But the big problem we're having is kind of what I told you there at the start. Little things like that, very avoidable things, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things that are definitely avoidable that could just make things, much, much more efficient.
Yeah, the little things add up, I suppose, especially in a business, you know.
Mhm.
So how long have you probably been using that system? How long have the problems been? Has the system always been bad? Probably is what I'm asking.
Yeah, it's not so even the system is that bad. It's kind of reliant on a lot of guesswork. Like, oh, when do you think they need that for? What day really? And you're kind of scrambling. Oh, when did I note that down? You know what I mean? So yeah, I've been at the company. I've been had this role nearly 3 years now. So ever since I've been here, don't get me wrong, it's not an absolute shit show, but I really think this would just cut out a lot of costs. Like even with the problem I was telling you before, if staff have to work late and extra, that's an extra hour of overtime, you know, that we have to pay as well, of course, little things like that. And these all add up. And then if we're late with these orders, you know, to our customers, you know, we get a bad reputation. They might not buy back from us again. You know what I mean? Things might be rushed and it might be done as to the quality. You know what I mean? So yeah, for the 3 years, that's kind of the way we've been doing it. You know, and it's just these little problems add up. You know.
Okay. The 3 years, I suppose you can really describe it a bit of a domino effect. Do you know, it affects the
Hmm.
process, then it's overtime for guys you're paying out, then it's affecting clientele and the name and so on and what you're getting production. So
Hmm.
3 years ish, I know that's sure you that's a rough time frame. Have you tried anything in the past new? Have you tried to bring in a system in those last 3 years?
Yeah, great question. We have tried a few things. It's, I don't even I forget the name of the system. I think, but you know, so basically how it would work is there'd be like a tracker on the orders when they're brought outside and stuff, so we could kind of like analyze exactly where they were. But that was grand for when actually the work was done and it was being, you know, en route to the customers. So, but it didn't really help the problems we were having, you know, with actually when is this order for, you know what I mean? That only helped when the actual, you know, product was made, if that makes sense. So
So
that's what we have tried. We go on, yeah.
no, so it didn't give you a step by step where the order was. It was more at the latter end of when it was complete.
Exactly, exactly. It happened at the end, but that would be like the cherry on top of the cake. You know what I mean? We don't have the cake, so what's the point of having the cherry? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. And do you feel that did you ever go to that program, the installers for the program and sort of say, look, this is the problem. Were they able to fix it in any shape or form?
In fairness to them, there was probably a miscommunication with, you know, my boss and them what we were actually looking for, because in fairness the product was good but did it was solving a problem we didn't really have, you know what I mean? So yeah, we did go about it, but they were kind of saying, no, this is kind of our niche, this is what we provide. And being honest, from looking around at other places and stuff, other things, there was not really that stood out like yours kind of on the face of it seems carbon copied of what we actually need, you know, to invest in to improve the company, like, you know, help out with these problems.
Yeah. So I suppose it's trying to find something specific to the company in order to help you, and everybody's different. So
Hmm.
do you feel like you would go back with that company? Do you feel like if you spoke to them and sort of said to them, look, we need it step by step, would they be able to do it?
No, I don't think so. In fairness, we've kind of communicated with them and they've kind of said, oh, listen, that's not what really we do. It's more so the tracking element, so you know exactly where your product is. Their thing is more like for companies, I suppose, who aren't aren't delivering their product on time or product going missing and stuff. That's not really our issues. Ours is more um before it's even made, you know what I mean? Time flow, workflow, you know, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So they probably don't have the specificity to in order to help sort of your problem in your situation. Um,
Yeah.
okay. So I suppose now where you are at the moment, your day to day, you have tried that in the past. It hasn't really worked with that program. It's affecting the workflow. How is it affecting your job as such?
Yeah, great question. I kind of bear the brunt because I'm looking after the staff, but I have to report back to, the management. So it's not easy as in because I've from knowing the business kind of inside out now, I feel like these problems are very avoidable if we just got a efficient system is where an order is placed, we can see what's ordered straight away instead of waiting on like a confirmation email that might go to spam or might just, waiting for a phone call that we just didn't get the answer at the time. You know what I mean? If that comes in there, bang, I can say. And also, what I liked about your system is you can like prioritize things. So if it's high value product that a customer wants made, we can kind of put that ahead of the priority list. You know what I mean? Let's say if it's for a week's time, but we're working on something that's for 2 months' time. It's fine. We can put the 2 month thing in the back burner and get the thing that needs to be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dates and all that sort of thing, time specifically. So yeah, how it's affecting me, yeah, it's frustrating because I know these are probably avoidable.